I'm Matt Taylor. I'm professor of saxophone at Morehead State University. I'm also the coordinator of the music program. I was from a very musical family. My great uncles were bluegrass musicians, if you can imagine that. My father was a trumpet player in high school. He was the sousaphone player in the marching band, and he played piano for a Southern gospel quartet. And so when it came time for me to be in band, it was always assumed I was going to be in band, and it was also always assumed that I was going to play trumpet. About a week before school was supposed to start, my parents asked me if I was excited about playing trumpet, and I told them that I really wanted to play saxophone. And I was really scared to tell them because they were so excited about me playing trumpet, just like my dad. But really, I was fascinated with saxophone ever since I was a little kid, mainly because I watched a lot of Sesame Street when I was a kid, and Hoot the Owl on Sesame Street was my favorite Muppet. And so I wish I could say it was for some like really bold artistic reason I chose saxophone, but it was really because of the Muppets. Yeah, my first degree was in music education. At that point, when I was doing the second couple of years of high school in Arkansas, I met this woman named Jackie Lamar, who is still a professor of saxophone at University of Central Arkansas, and I started taking lessons with her in high school. And I told her that I wanted to study music and be a performance major because I wanted to play. I wanted to be a jazz musician. That was my objective. And she told me that she didn't accept performance majors. And so the only way that I'd get to study with her is if I was a music education major. And I had no interest whatsoever in being a band director or anything like that. And I guess about maybe 2 years into college, I realized that really what I loved was teaching. And so it wound up being the right thing for me to do. I still don't know how people are band directors. It's an incredibly difficult job. I did teach elementary school music for a year. And that was a wonderful, very valuable experience and taught me a lot. But, I really wanted to be in higher education. And as it turned out, one of the reasons I got my job here is because of my undergraduate degree in music education. Really? So you never know how things are going to work out. Before I got here, there was a lot of turnover in the saxophone studio. When I first arrived, my students had 3 different saxophone professors. And so I promised them, I said, I'm in it for the long term. And I had heard about Morehead State before because of some previous saxophone professors who had been here. It felt very familiar here. It was kind of a risk to take it because it was a visiting position. So there was no guarantee that I would be able to have it for more than a year. But it felt right. It was very compelling to me that it was a school that had a lot of music education majors. One of the things that I noticed when I was teaching is that there's a lot of very uneven music teaching. And so I thought that working with students who were going to be pursuing teaching would be a way for me to have more influence in how music is consumed and how we talk about music and how we treat student musicians. And so then when I started doing the interviews and I met the faculty here, I just felt like home. That's why Morehead State.